It suddenly makes sense to me, like why at the end of every month, for example, I feel so much pressure to pay the salaries for my team, because somehow I feel like I'm carrying all my staff's expectations and their financial responsibilities on my shoulders. Welcome, my brave hearts and sensitive souls, to Embrace Your Sacred Nature podcast. I'm your host and soul guide, Tanya Ho. Today, I want to talk to you about something that is very dear to my heart, and this topic is actually the seed of the inspiration for this podcast, which is to celebrate our sensitivities and to embrace our sensitivities as our superpower. Hence the name, Embrace Your Sacred Nature. Now, before I begin, I want to take a moment and just reflect on how sensitive you are. How sensitive you are. Okay, so when I was growing up, being sensitive was considered as something negative or even a weakness. Here, being sensitive doesn't mean anything negative. Being sensitive means that you may feel more than other people. Perhaps you can anticipate what other people need or feel before they say anything. It's easy for you to read between the lines, or maybe you can be sensitive to picking up energies in a space that you're in. For example, you may go into the meeting room and you can read the room easily, or you can go to a space and immediately you can pick up like the vibe there. I also want to clarify that everyone is sensitive to some degree. So there's this whole spectrum of sensitivity. And on one end of the spectrum, we find the highly sensitive people. And within that category of highly sensitive people, we find that empaths feel a lot more than others. But remember, everyone can develop their intuitive gifts to become more sensitive to energies. So what it means is that we become more intuitive, we will become more sensitive. Now back to my question, how sensitive are you? From a scale from 1 to 10, where 1 is not really sensitive, to 10 being super sensitive, where do you fall? If you feel you're a 7 or more, then please keep listening to this episode because this is for you. And if you feel like you're less than 7, no worries, because I bet you will have a friend or family member who is more sensitive than others. And this episode can help you understand their sensitive nature more. All right, so if you're a 7 or higher, you're most likely a highly sensitive person and maybe even an empath. And today I want to talk about what being an empath and a highly sensitive person means and what practices can help you, if you identify yourself as one, to feel more grounded and less overwhelmed by the world around you. So personally, I've learned about the term empath many years ago. And in 2021, I picked up Anita Mujani's book called Sensitive is the New Strong. And I mentioned that as a sign I received from the universe in my last episode, episode 6. And I read about empaths. And at that time, I only thought of myself as a highly sensitive person and not really an empath. Only when I reread the book the second time, 2 years later, I started to fully embrace myself as an empath, and everything just started to make sense for me. It's like finding that missing piece of the puzzle. Once I understand that being an empath is my sensitive nature, everything just clicks and falls into place. Now, what's the difference between a highly sensitive person and an empath? A highly sensitive person is quite sensitive to energies of people and the environment around them. For example, a highly sensitive person can step into a meeting room and immediately pick up the vibe in the room. A highly sensitive person can also feel quite overwhelmed by outer spaces, negative news, words and emotions from other people, and from EMF, which is electromagnetic field. An empath is a highly sensitive person who can feel a lot more than others and who can also take on and even absorb other people's energies and feelings. Now, both highly sensitive people and empath have a lot of intuitive gifts to share with the world, but unfortunately, a lot of them are not aware of their own sensitivities to begin with. Empath especially can feel easily overwhelmed and weighed down by anxiety, nervousness, depression, fear from other people, fear from the world. They may not even realize these emotion feelings do not belong to them at the first place. Now, how do you know if you're an empath or a highly sensitive person. In general, here are some characteristics and qualities of an empath that you might find you relate to. First of all, an empath would be highly intuitive. An empath can anticipate other people's needs easily, and they can feel what other people are feeling easily. They are great listeners, and they can understand what's being spoken in between the lines. Usually, empaths are service-oriented, and they have a passion to help other people. Empaths are also interested in all things metaphysical and spiritual. They may feel drawn to nature and calm spaces. They see the inherent good nature in people, and they have a strong affinity to connect with animals, plants, and nature. Now, sensitivities are like double-edged swords. If an empath is not aware of their own sensitivity and don't know how to master them, they may be negatively affected by the environment and other people's energies. So here are some possible challenges that an empath may encounter. For example, negative comments and words can feel very hurtful and affect an empath much deeper and much longer. Empaths can tend to be people pleasers as they feel good when other people around them feel good too. Empaths tend to avoid conflict and any confrontation to feel safe, so they may bottle up their feelings and just stress themselves out even more. Empaths may take on burdens and responsibilities of other people in order to help other people to feel better, and they forget about prioritizing their own self-care. Empaths may be easily taken advantage of, manipulated, or exploited by others because of the tendency to see and believe in the good in others. And empaths may feel drained sometimes by listening to because other people may just dump their feelings on them. So these are some challenges that empaths may face, and these challenges may cause empaths to lose confidence in themselves, and they start to doubt themselves, and they may hold themselves back from expressing the truth because they're afraid of disappointing other people. If you want to find out whether you're an empath or not, Anita Murjani has an amazing free online empath quiz where you don't need to sign up for anything. And I'll leave the link in the show notes below. So please make sure to go to her website and do the quiz and to find out if you're an empath or not. So from her quiz, she separates the results into 4 categories. So you can have partial empathic leanings, you can be a moderate empath, an intuitive empath, and a full-on empath. My personal score is an intuitive empath. And it's really spot on. I'll share some of the descriptions with you. So for example, for an intuitive empath like me, I'm pretty intuitive. I can usually tell when people are lying. I may want to look into become an energy worker or healer because this could be a natural gift for me. Hence, I'm here. I prefer to be in nature. I have a gift of influencing the moods, energies, atmospheres, and environments around me. I may have a tendency to mirror other people and their energy. I love to help others, but I also need to slow down and give to myself before I do so. And I would benefit from an energy healing myself, which is a total yes. So feel free to let me know in the comments below also once you've completed the quiz and which type of empath you are. I'd love to know. I really do highly recommend reading her book. She shares a lot of insights, tools, and meditations to help sensitive people to embrace your sensitivities as your strengths. Okay, so now that you recognize yourself as an empath or a highly sensitive person, chances are you may suddenly start to unlock some mysteries in your life in terms of explaining for certain responses, tendencies, and patterns that are happening in your life. For me, personally, once I embrace myself as an empath, it suddenly makes sense to me like why at the end of every month, for example, I feel so much pressure to pay the salaries for my team because somehow I feel like I'm carrying all my staff's expectations and their financial responsibilities on my shoulders, and not just my staff, but it's also like their family member too. Like, the salary is supporting them and their family and their loved ones. And I feel this immense pressure on myself. It's also very hard to me just to shrug off a negative comment or feedback compared to other people because I can really feel the energetic weight of the word on my energetic body, and hurtful words can really feel like a sword that's cutting me. But now that I understand, well, these are my sensitivities, and this is just how I'm made up energetically, just like our hair color and our bone structure. And it's not because there's something wrong with me. I used to think there's something wrong with me. Why can't I just care less? Why can't I just be more tough and move on? Why can't I just be like other people? Now I understand. Okay, that's just how I'm made up energetically. And I can learn to work with this. I can learn to master my sensitivities instead of forcing myself to be someone I'm not. Now, to be honest, at the beginning, it's really not easy to be able to see my sensitivities as my superpower because it hurts. Like, when I feel a lot of sadness and heaviness and even pain in my heart, that hurts. And I don't even know if it's from myself or from other people. But over the years, I've learned different spiritual practices and energy tools to help me become stronger. And I also want to share some of them with you. So it goes to my next question. What to do once we realize we're an empath? How can we master our sensitivities? Luckily for us, there are a lot of wellness tools, a lot of spiritual practice that can help us empaths to raise our vibration and to ground and protect our energies with love. Now, I emphasize intention with love and not fear because it's so easy to see the world as a dangerous place full of pitfalls for empaths. And it's easy to say we just want to stay in a cave or at our home and we don't want to go out. So we must approach this with an intention of love because we are doing these practices as an act of self-love. Once we learn to embrace our sensitivities as our gifts, and we know that we are born with these gifts because they're here to help us carry out our soul purpose on earth. Our sensitivities point the way to show us why we're here and what we are here meant to do. All right, so there are 3 main categories of practices that can help empaths and highly sensitive people to become stronger. First, it's important to learn how to ground our energy. Number 2, learn how to clear our energy. Number 3 is learn how to protect your energy. And I'm going to briefly explain each category. Number 1 is learning how to ground your energy. It means to bring your awareness back to the present moment. Sometimes empaths and highly sensitive people can feel so much and just get lost in that feeling and emotion space. So to really anchor our physical existence here, it's important to learn to bring the awareness back to this physical body and to learn how to connect with the earth energetically as well. Some examples are meditations, exercising, going to nature for a walk, or even walking barefoot. So some people call that earthing. Getting your 7 types of rest, which is the physical rest, emotional rest, mental rest, sensory rest, social rest, creative rest, spiritual rest. And doing activities just really nourish you on the soul level. Number 2 is learning how to clear your energy because sometimes empaths and highly sensitive people can take off energies of other people or the space that we're in without realizing. So if you're feeling heavy or drained for no apparent reason, or might even feel pain or symptoms of a physical sickness or a depressed feeling just descending upon you, it may be possible that you're carrying energies that do not belong to you. Now, clearing your energy field is a really important practice. It is practicing energy hygiene on your energetic bodies. It's like why we take a shower every day, hopefully, because when we go out, we pick up dust and dirt and germs and other invisible, amazing things that our physical eyes can't see. And it's the same on the energetic level. We pick up energies without noticing. Okay, so some examples of tool that can help clear energy include a fire release ceremony, which I have a free PDF guide to give you the step-by-step instruction of how to do a simple fire release ceremony at home. And I'll leave the link in the show notes below where you can go find that and to download that. We can also use smoke of sacred plants like Palo Santo and white sage, using sound or bathing in salt water. Number 3 is learn how to protect your energy. Now, first of all, it's very important to note that protecting your energy doesn't mean that everything on the outside is dangerous, is negative, or is bad. So now we should all please just hide in caves. The world needs your presence. They need your voice and your gifts. We protect our energy so we don't get easily affected by other people and the world, and we can really be our true, authentic self. And this is why we're here on earth. The best way to protect our energy on the inside is to raise our own vibration. What does that mean? It means you're living a soul-aligned life and a love-centered life, a spirit-centered life, a God-centered life, doing what you love, loving what you do, just being your true, authentic self. There are other ways also to help protect our energy as we work on our outer space. For example, creating a sanctuary in your home where you can truly just relax, wearing crystals in dark color, and stay away from negative news, from watching horror movies or even very violent movies, and stay away from places that generally you don't feel good being in. Okay, so today I briefly shared what does it mean if you're an empath and a highly sensitive person, and also what it means to ground your energy, to clear your energy, and to protect your energy. Of course, I just want to make it clear that these practices are actually important for everyone and anyone, not only just for empaths and highly sensitive people. These practices can all help us stay more calm, to have more inner peace, to have more energy, and to stay true to ourselves. I truly believe that embracing our sensitivities as a superpower and knowing that we can thrive in this world is an act of self-love. Your sensitivities point to your natural gifts that you're born with, and your natural gifts point the way to show you why you're here on earth and what you're meant to do in this life. So thank you for tuning into another episode of Embrace Your Sacred Nature podcast. I'm so grateful for your time. I hope you have enjoyed learning this topic today in this episode. If you want to learn more about this topic or delve deeper into the energy tools that can help with grounding, clearing, and protecting your energy, please let me know in the comments so I can prepare something in this topic in future episodes. I also teach an energy tool for sensitives workshop here at Museflower Retreat and Spa. If you're interested to learn more about this in person, I'll leave the link of Museflower in the show notes below. As always, I'd love to stay connected with you, so you can find me on social media. You can hit the subscribe button, leave a comment below to share your thoughts and questions, and you can go to my website, www.tanyaho.me, to download your free How to Perform a Simple Fire Release Ceremony at Home guide today. And remember, your energy is your magic, so be you and no one else. This is Tanya from Museflower Retreat and Spa, and I'll see you in my next episode.